Oh, hell yeah. Alright, welcome back. So, we did Screaming S-Turn last time. Now we're going to do Pick a Slot. And it's right here. There's 3 rapids after Insignificant. Screaming S-Turn, Pick a Slot, and then Iron Curtain. Iron Curtain should be obvious because it's after a very sharp left bend. And we're even going to take a look at that in more in-depth because Iron Curtain is and we got to go to this. See, you have a house up here, and you have a strip of iron rocks. And so we're going to go right to the first piece of footage. So right here, there's your iron cliffs. Then you have Iron Curtain. Now, is this Pick a Slot? Hell no. This is, I'm just trying to confuse you. No, this is Screaming S-Turn. We did that last time, and this is kind of your main left to right. But this kayaker, once they're done with Screaming S-Turn, hell yeah, you already have whoa. You already have Pick a Slot in your vantage point. I always like to do this because you're just like, oh, now I know it's just stone's throw to Pick a Slot, and here is the left entrance, the technical left entrance of Pick a Slot. And we're just going to zoom forward, and there you go. So here is that boulder over here. You're going to drop right through this channel between 2 rocks, and you do have this middle rock. So real straightforward, just drop right over this. And let's take a look at Dane Jackson. This is how Dane Jackson does it. Oh, hell yeah. We're going to do a little splat right on that rock, and then booyah, we're going to go up, spin. Might as well spin our paddle too because we're a G. Oh, might as well do that. Okay, so we're done with that. But this line over here, this technical line, now you're just kind of floating back and forth. You know what I mean? Might go to the right, might pop out over here, and then work your way back down over here. Okay, and then just plop and drop over this. Now, we're going to take a look at just other ways to do this. So now we're going to, so this is Pick a Slot. Now we're going to zoom in on it. Booyah. And so we just saw that technical line right through here. Maybe you got to just pop out just over here, but pop back over here. Well, why can't you just go right there? And we're going to take a look at that too. Because in the Ace video, look at these kayakers. They're doing that technical left line over on Pick a Slot. You know, I mean, ain't no thing. And we might want to speed this up because it's so slow and boring over there. It's not a big line at all. But look what they do. They don't finish down this left side, and they kind of just drop right through here, just to the right side of that boulder. So the GAULEY is just like, whoa, there's so many different lines, and unless you know that, like, oh, that's a safe way to go, who knows? But looking at a topo, it kind of gives you that information. So you do have a tail of whitewater, or just a tail of, well, what do you call it? Just like a tail waves, or whatever. You got current. That's what I was getting at. You have current flowing through here. You have current flowing through here. So these are safe hydraulics to run, and you have a current going through there. You know what I mean? So basically, besides just popping over kind of some ledges, there's no real hydraulics that you're going to get Maytag'd in. But there's plenty of places where you can get all chalked up in your kayak and get sieved. You know what I mean? Plenty of little, I mean, it's called Pick a Slot. There's going to be a lot of slots. All right, so what are we going to look at next? Well, let's take a look at kind of the lines at Pick a Slot. We just saw the technical line. That was cool. And is there any more technical lines? I think that's it. Yep, so now we are going to look at this right side. Well, let's just look at the overview of Pick a Slot. You're going to enter right here, and I think that's totally straightforward. And we're going to go back here. So here's your entrance, big old wide channel. But right here, you got some decisions to make. You kind of have some waves to hit right through here. And kind of the classic is at some point, you got to move from left to right and get through these slots. So here is a large pour over. Here is another rock, fairly wide. And then here is a triangle rock that protrudes, you know what I mean? If you hit this, we got some footage of people falling out. And they get some downtime under this current right here, and they pop up right there. So keep that in mind. And then you have a pour over here. Now, is this no thing? You know what I mean? Honestly, a 14-foot raft could just float in and then just probably plop and drop right over here. And it probably wouldn't be, you know, ain't no thing but chicken wing. But I don't know. Maybe you'd run into this rock or something. So kind of classic, where's the classic line to go through? Well, I mean, if you're actually on top of your game, you want to probably go through this slot right here. So you have this diagonal rock right here. Most of the rafts fit right through here, but they're all late as. They're all just kind of going straight through this wave train, and then not doing much else, and then kind of just tagging this thing and running into it, and then, you know, kind of, I don't know. What I would do is actually get some, I would start right here, and then drive from left to right, you know what I mean, make my move just in time to get just behind this rock, treat it like catching an eddy behind the rock, and then slide right in, you know what I mean, and then you just finish right here. But we are going to look at some of the technical right lines, which should be a fun one to do. So basically, the right line, this rock divides the right and left. So this rock right here is very significant because it's got a huge pillowy wave on this right side of it. And if you go up against this wave, then you're going to get thrown this direction, and you're going to be in this kind of pool, and you have to exit through this tight gap right there. A 14-foot boat can get through, which is amazing because look at that. A 14-foot, that's 7 feet wide. That is kind of amazing that a 14-foot boat can fit through that gap, or you can fit through that slot as well. All right, so that's the right technical line. Now, we do see one boat almost wanting to do this right technical line, and they hit this boulder right here. But the current on this boulder is pushing you this way, and then it's actually pretty sweet to just tag this thing, and then they lose all their momentum, and then they actually kind of get flushed around this rock. So it's just good to know kind of what the dynamics are through here. But a lot of the rafts, man, they just wait forever, and then kind of I feel like they're tagging this triangle rock, and yeah, you're gonna get some swimmers. Okay, so let's look at some more footage. All right, so here's the best. This is the technical right line. Traditionally, you're going to be in this wave train over here and then working your way through these slots. But to do this right line, you're going to be right there. And let's take a look at this boat because it's gonna go down and up, and it moves to the right. It moves to the right hard. So what you're seeing there is this wave right here. You're going to ride up onto this wave like a pillow, and it's going to slide you to the right. And then so we're going to watch this raft, and might as well get full screen. All right, so this raft is going to tag that wave and then slide to the right. So here's the wave. They hit it, and then they slide to the right. Now, they get kind of flipped around, you know what I mean, and they got to get through this gap. Now, they squeak by, you know what I mean. It's pretty amazing. But just keep that in mind. And now, couldn't she, I mean, so they're hitting this thing like right about here, going up on it and then sliding to the right. Why couldn't you just like drop over this ledge right here? Probably could, you know what I mean. It's just a little bit shallower. You might scrape your raft a little bit, but I mean, that's probably works too. All right, so we're going to watch another crew basically do this same line. And I think they do the slide. So they're gonna aim for that poofy wave, and they even label it. The poofy wave's right here. Here's your no, they kind of hit the seam, so that was perfect. And they even label the slots that you can go through. And then there's an undercut on the left, I guess. All right, so that was that one. We're gonna watch one more because this boat does the same thing. Now they don't drive up onto that pillowy wave. They just kind of hit to the right of it and then just drop right into the seam. So there's that pillowy wave on the left, and now their boat's going straight. And hell yeah, they just slide right through. It's pretty amazing you can get a 14-foot boat through there. Let's go back to this one because this guide is super. I would listen to him. Go to this video, and amazing vocals on this guide. You know what I mean? Just a lot of good education. But yeah, he totally has a lot of fun. He wants to go up on that and then slide to the right. That's always a fun time. Okay, and so that's going to be the right line. Now we're going to take a look at the left line. Here's the left line in a kayak. And now what are we doing in a kayak? Well, we're going to be to the kind of just down this wave train. Here's that right line. Here's that poofy wave, and then there's that rock. So we're very far kind of to the left of it. Now, again, there's that poofy wave right there. So and then so here's your first opportunity to work your way from left to right. And it's a huge opportunity. If I'm in a 14-foot raft, why am I not having tons of left momentum and just hitting this channel, knowing that this is the channel, not thinking pick a slot's just like, oh, just pick whatever slot. No, this is the slot you hit. And let's say this was the only line to hit. Treat this as a rock that you need to eddy behind. And so that's this rock right here. Just treat it like you're trying to catch the eddy behind this rock, and you'll slide right in. But a lot of these people go late, and then you have this triangle rock right here. But this kayaker does just kind of a slow turn, and then it ain't no thing for this kayaker. But if that was a raft, you just tag that thing sideways. And the other thing that I want to point out is, well, why can't you just plop and drop over this ledge? You know, probably ain't no thing, but it just might be a little chunky drop, and it might be kind of shallow in a 14-foot raft, but it is there. All right, so hell yeah, let's take a look at a couple more raft footage. All right, so this is the boat that wants to potentially do the right line. That kayak was way over here. This boat potentially wants to do that technical right line, but there's the poofy wave. It looks like they're setting up for it, but now they get slid to the left, and now they're going up against that rock. But then they do kind of just squeak their way through. So that's a pretty decent line. Now, oh man, yeah, definitely listen to this guy in some of his videos. This is Mike Benevento, and this isn't the only. This YouTube subscriber has his trip, and he goes down with Mike Benevento. He guided in Montana on the Gallatin, and oh yeah, just a world class guide. I mean, just his vocals, his stories is just great. But I don't know. He loses a swimmer on this one. You know, he definitely knows what he's doing. But he goes for a wild ride, that's for sure. So here's your poofy wave. Now this is if I was trying to take grandma down, I would be getting momentum behind this rock right here. And again, that's this rock. This is your wide channel. Now if you're over here and you want to get to the left of this, yeah, it's just going to be harder to work your way from left to right. But it might be okay just to drop anywhere down here. But now you have another rock protruding right there. But this one does launch a passenger. So we miss. So we just slide right into here. Here's our triangle rock, and then we drop a person. And where did they go? They're like, whoa, where'd it go? Oh, there's a paddle. Where'd the person go though? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, so yeah, the person pops up. Now we're going to take a look at that because that's crazy. And this is what's happening. Is you have the person dropped off on this triangle rock, and then your main hydraulic is right here. And you do have pretty flat gradient, you know what I mean? This just indicative, flat water is indicative of flat gradient at the very bottom. And so this rafter fell out and goes right underneath this seam, kind of down this pour over, and there's enough downstream momentum that just carries him under. And yeah, you get carried under water, and then you pop up here. Your PFD, your life jacket, only floats 15 pounds. That's just your head and your ego, you know what I mean, or whatever. But your body is neutrally buoyant, you know what I mean. All your PFD has enough flotation for your head. And then you have 200 extra pounds of just neutrally buoyant material because your body's neutrally buoyant. But yeah, once that water takes you, all it has to do is drag down 15 pounds. That's super easy. So getting downtime is a frequent thing that happens on the GAULEY, especially ledge drop river. You get more downtime. I was not aware of that. I went through a swimmer's rapid on the new river, and I was just like, oh, I'll just swim just like this, and I just dropped over kind of a little pour-overy thing, and it looked clean. Like even this has got to run out, but I went down for 4 seconds, and as an experienced guide, I friggin' panicked. I was just like, that is not an experience you get a whole lot on western rivers. You don't get a lot of downtime. I mean, or you know what's going on. Because, like, if you get downtime, you got, like, tunneled under a huge, like, wave train. And you're kind of like, yeah, I'm in a wave train, I'm going to pop up. But there's something specially terrifying about going over a pour-over. Or, you know, I didn't even go over a pour-over. It was just very similar to this. And then let's watch the guy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know, we'll watch it full screen. It's just like he tags this rock, and you go under. Well, let's count the seconds. It's all right. It's 29. He's underwater. He's underwater. He's underwater. He's underwater. Okay, he decided to pop up. Yeah, that's literally 8 seconds. You know what I mean? That's enough to not raft ever again. All right, so we're going to watch some more lines, and I guess I can do these full screen. Why not? And so another kayaker's line. I'm sure he's going to make a late left to right move. Or, you know, just not even thinking about moving left to right. We're just kind of floating. But, okay, we see this. And in a kayak, it just takes like one stroke and you're over there. So, all right, so we're done with that one. We're almost done. Here's a low water footage. So this is 700 CFS. This is up at insignificant. And then just to give you an idea, we're going to get right to the footage. All right, so here's that last drop at low water. So yeah, this is significant. You know what I mean? So this is what that the person who fell out of the raft. This is the pour over that he went over and then got downtime. See how this is just dead flat gradient down here. But at low water, it really shows you the dynamics. Once the GAULEY fills in, it doesn't look like anything. But now you see this jumble of boulders, and you're just like, whoa, like why is there just like a maze of boulders in front of me? So now we're going to go back to like why there is a race line at the bottom of Pick a Slot. So here's Pick a Slot, and here's what it looks like at fall flow. We'll do right here. So this is your fall flow. Now this is low water. So you have a whole series, you have like a whole fence of boulders that if you're over on this right side, you have to go all the way to the outside of these boulders and around this corner just to get back to Iron Curtain. But if you're over here, especially in a kayak, just doing this the technical line, you can just work your way right here. It cuts off a lot. Now we're going to watch actually one rafter. He pops out right here. He actually does the technical right line and then is like, oh hell yeah. He eddies across and then gets over there. You know what I mean? 5 paddle strokes here is worth about 25 going on this far outside corner. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But hell yeah. So and we'll watch this one again because this is the guy that actually has a little bit of fun out there and then drives on the pillow. It's the only one that I've seen drive up on this pillow, and you should. It's a fun line. Oh hell yeah. That's a fun sensation. Surfing a raft, kind of like getting pillow stalled. Okay, so he pops out, but now he's so now he popped out. That boat did the traditional line. But now this raft is like, hell yeah, 5 or 6 strokes. Look at that, just like hardly anything. And then booyah, now we're down this left side. And then that's it. And so he's down the left side, and look at that. So there's, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, now he's down the left side with 5 or 6 strokes. All those other boats are down that really slow outside corner to Iron Ring. And I like stuff like this. You know what I mean? I haven't been on the Upper GAULEY a whole lot. I would have never in my life. That's the thing. If you've only done the Upper GAULEY a handful of times, this stuff isn't gonna stick at all, unless you watch a video like this. And then it's kind of fun. You're just like, oh, yeah, I definitely know what's going on now. Okay, next one up. I don't know if I've seen this one, but I think we got one more, and then we're done. Okay, so we're going way far left. There's that triangle rock. Oh, so we go to the left of it. And that ain't no thing in a kayak. That's probably your traditional line in a kayak right there. That's probably way more straightforward. And we'll see that it is because here's your line of kayakers setting up for Pick a Slot. And here's your triangle rock right here. Pretty placid over here. Here's your wave train, and you're even to the left of this main wave train. All right, yeah, and then here's that triangle rock, and they're going to the right side. That guy kind of boofs over the left. Yeah, so right and left of that in a kayak. All right, but this is kind of interesting because you know what I mean. You do have this large wave train, but it terminates into this Oh, it wasn't that one. Yeah, so you do have this large wave train, and if you hit this wave train, like you're kind of in no man's land. You know what I mean? Because the right line is over here to the right. This wave train leads right to this rock that you can't get around. So it's either going to slide you to the left or to the right. And so that's what it did. So this wave train, where's the wave train? Friggin' A. The wave train's kind of right here, the main wave train. And it terminates right at this rock that you can't get up and over. It's either going to slide you to the right or it's going to slide you to the left. So taking this right line, you are set up more right of this wave train. And then the main setup is kind of this left channel. Anyway, now we're just kind of rambling. But there you go. So here's the tongue on the way in. You're kind of on the left side of this tongue. You're not down the middle. On the left side, and then you're working your way from left to right at the bottom. All right, hell yeah. All right, we're going to watch one more raft. And yeah, this raft, probably a late line. This is your traditional. I'm just paddling straight, and I know it's pick a slot. I'm angling my boat a little bit. Now we're angling it back. Whoa. But that was pretty decent. You know what I mean? We found a slot. We went for it. We knew we had to move left to right. The only thing, you know, that rafts aren't doing is they aren't like starting way over here on the left or just a couple, like a boat width over here, and they're not getting momentum from left to right. And that's fine because there's probably, you can't really see much, but right here's the rock you want to get behind. So even like right now, if you can know that and identify that, and here's the rock right there, if you can identify and know that this is the rock I need to get behind, then that's the one that you're going to charge for, instead of just kind of floating, you know, up against them and being like, whoa, I'm going to hit it, and then dropping in. But anyway, that's all on pick a slot. Screaming S-turn. Someone said, hey, the visible rock on the lower water level video to the right of the large rocks on the S-turn. So near the S-turn, kayak has pinned there. And so here's this low water footage. Here's your S-turn. At high water, you can just drop right here. But what he's saying, this YouTuber saying, is somewhere right here you can get totally pinned up. Yeah, I would imagine kind of right in here. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, and we're gonna try to go back here and get just a little bit more footage. Now this brings up why the GAULEY is dangerous. You know what I mean? This doesn't look like much, but yeah, at fall flow, you pop over here, you might get stuck, and you might not be able to see. You're just like, well, what's the danger? I don't get it. So I'm gonna show you. And then here's that same thing at fall flow. And so right here, these chunky rocks right here might be the sieve. And darn it, I had a video of mine up. Maybe I can find it. Locksaw low water. Locksaw 3000, 4000 CFS. Yeah, I got to get my videos to pop up. All right, here we go. I'm going to pop that up. But while that's loading, so here is a pin that looks like a total nothing burger. You know what I mean? You're just like, what? So this is on the upper U, and this, so it's like right here. So this kayaker is looking out for his buddies. He's kind of the senior kayak. He's paddled this, and he knows some of his friends might get pinned here, so he's worried about the consequences for them. But right here, he doesn't paddle aggressively and stay on his line, and it's like kind of one of his first times. He's just a little bit nonchalant. And so where's the pin? The pin is going to happen right here. And it's just like, what? It doesn't look like much, but he misses his line to the left, just not being aggressive because he was kind of paying attention to the people behind and in front. Should have paid attention to my line instead. And he kind of just goes right here and goes sideways. Now, I will say, after looking at the footage, if you know you're going to be in a pin position, it's best to get your friggin' body downstream instead of broaching and then falling upstream and then having the water push you in. So like right here, he could be like, oh crap, this is a pinning situation. I'm going to fall my body onto these rocks and grab them, and then have my boat upstream to the current, so maybe I can pull myself around. Because all it is, it doesn't look like much, and he pins this way and he falls upstream, and his boat pins. All right, so here you go. And why is he running a clock? Is because his head is underwater. Yeah, we'll let this run out because it's what, 12 seconds underwater before he actually floats. And now he rescues himself. He gets out of that pin, but if he wasn't able to, he would have drowned because his head is underwater. So this is the perfect scenario where you're just like, whoa. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought it's like a child drowning in 3 inches of water. You know what I mean? You don't understand the dangers of a pin until you realize that when your boat's stuck, you're stuck. And if your head is underwater, your head's underwater. Nothing you can do. Now, the video is above water, but that's just because the camera's on top of his head. He cannot breathe until he actually gets the wherewithal to be like, oh, I'm stuck. I'm exiting my boat. And then he exits his boat. And he talks about it, you know, either with words or just with written text of like, holy Toledo. You know what I mean? He's like, plenty of his people on the trip, if they were in that same situation, probably would have drowned. They might have not had the wherewithal to pull their skirt. All right, what was the video I brought up? All right, so here's the Locksaw video, and then here is Shoestring Falls. Now, I play around over here, so it's just a good idea to always be on the radar of what's dangerous and what's like less dangerous. But so these pour-overs are more dangerous than less dangerous. So here's one where I have surfed before, I've gotten stuck, and now just downstream, so just downstream over by this log is the second one. And I do like to, in an R1 raft, it's hard to get stuck by any surf wave, but these I can surf them. But I might do this again. In an R1 raft, it's different. But not really. If I fall out here, now what's the danger? Like, why are we even looking at this? Well, this is a hole backed up by a rock. There's another rock right here. You know, so just always do the same stretches at lower water, higher water, and see where all the rocks are, you know what I mean? Or especially lower water, because it gives you an indication. So there is a total rock right there. And then so I'm purposely surfing this, but if my boat flipped or I just fell out, what's going to happen? There's plenty of current here. It's going to push my whole body up against that rock because it's a hole backed up by a rock. And this happens on the GAULEY so much. So in this situation, it's like pick your poison. If there's places on the GAULEY that have a hole backed up by a rock, which at Conestoga, you know what I mean, they do, then you just have to do your due diligence. One, just know where those places exist. And so you have Lost Paddle, and then this corner is Conestoga right before Shipwreck. But yeah, on the bottom part of Conestoga, it's 2 parts. You have this main drop on the exit, and it's a class 5 hazard. It's a lethal area. Now you see Dane Jackson going from left to right to left. All the pro kayakers, they might drop it just because they know they can run this hole without getting stuck. And I can't really zoom in more, but it's a hole backed up by a rock. And this one can body surf you. Now this isn't a very good footage, but you have a flat rock right here, and then you have a very, very decent hole. So if you're a kayaker, you can totally get stuck, swim, and then body surfed and keep getting recirculated. But what I also identify is that you can also get thrown and then driven into the crevices below a hole. So if you have a hole backed up by a rock, you can get thrown into those crevices. And I think even after Iron Ring, you have Keegan's Falls, which we'll get to in later videos. But you talk about like a clamshell, you know what I mean? Or that's what the Ace video, you know what I mean? Just throwing that out, you're just like, well, under further inspection, what the hell are they talking about? Because on Keegan's Falls, this is a super hazard over here on the left. Could be the site of some fatality. And so like even right here, so there's your rock, and then here's your pour over backed up by a rock, where you could totally just get your whole body wedged. All right, so I'm just glad that that guy showed this footage of Screaming S-Turn, You know what I mean? Where at fall flow, you can be more over here. But if you mess up your line, even at fall flow, you might drop over these rocks and even just right there and get stuck. And even this, it doesn't look like much. You're like, what the hell are you even talking about? But then when we actually look at pinning situations where you're just like, whoa, I did not see that as a pin. I see a bunch of rocks right here, but yeah, it's a jumble of rocks with gradient. So you have sieve, you know what I mean? You're not going to get stuck on these rocks and then push left or right. You're actually going to fall into them and then just get stuck. So that makes sense. I'm going to fall into these rocks and get stuck and kind of turned. I'm going to get pinned. My head's going to be underwater. It's a potential drowning situation. This kayaker does a really good job of getting himself out. But yeah, so that's why I do like making these videos about the GAULEY, because there's some things, it made me even question pick a slot, because I was just like, oh, like I was just like, well, I don't see a kayaker, in some of my footage, I didn't see kayakers dropping this slot right there. I was like, well, is that safe? You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, it's kind of interesting. When you have a topo, you should be able to make sound judgments of what's safe and not safe. But even from a topo, it's only one piece of information. Maybe there is something hazardous about this lower pour over where everyone does pick a slot, you know what I mean, either here or here. Yeah, those are the things that kind of rack my brain. But yeah, once you're down here and you eddy out behind this drop, maybe you can get a better view for it and be like, no, I can run that. Or you know, go down the GAULEY at 700 CFS and yeah, I think we're done with the video. But anyway, and then make those calls on your own. All right, so well, thanks for joining me for this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very good at making short videos, and I don't want to. I'm just gonna do me. I have a whole channel that's like, hold my bipolar, watch this, and the whole idea is just make videos, even if they're just trash videos. You know what I mean? 20 years from now, the content's going to be so trashy anyway that you're going to be like, oh, I can tolerate a 3-hour video. Maybe that's exactly what I want. I just want raw. You know what I mean? But that's what we do. We give you what we got, and we're just gonna work our way down. If I don't make another video in a while, you know, keep bugging me. Be like, hey, get to the next rapid, get to Iron Curtain. But we made 2 in a row, and I'm gonna publish this one tonight. So, all right, thanks for joining me. That was Pick a Slot Rapid, and hell yeah, like always, have a good night. I know I will.